Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Spicy bit of drama going down last night between the CDL pros and the Warzone players yet again, with Shifty TV, the winner of the World Series Warzone a couple of months back, having a bit of a hard time in some of these early kickoff matches. Dashy, Kenny and Shotzzy were coming together to absolutely roast this guy on stream over the last couple of days. He's now responded in kinds. Lots to dive into here, including the Vegas Legion announcement. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. So here we go. Now I've got to say here, right, I actually called this. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of days ago when I said that I'm not sure why Vegas haven't confirmed yet. I imagine they're searching for a graphic designer to do this for them for free. And actually, it turned out I was bang on the money. Because, you know, well, not in the way that I expected though. Because they've actually gone on, I don't know if this is JurNii or whatever AI generator. And they've come up with these images here that are generated by, like, I cannot believe this stuff. Honestly, this is just premium. This has got to be the worst and simultaneously best roster announcements that I've ever seen. Vegas continue to raise the bar every year. Their roster actually isn't too bad, but their announcement is just so atrocious. It is honestly hilarious. So, yeah, this might be the last year of the CDL. This might be the last year we have to deal with the Legion as an organization. And it's quite the send-off, you gotta say, for their potentially final ever announcement of a team. This is meant to be standing. I mean, let me just actually comment on these, right? So this, of course, is Nero, who was on Boston last year. This is attached with the earrings for some reason. And then, of course, this is Standy joining the team, formerly of Toronto, and then he was on Legion last season, so he's returning to the organization. And then Purge, who is the final man on the team, who they've also taken, basically they've taken an image and they've got the AI to like generate it and upscale it with the Vegas colors. It's kind of impressive, I can't lie. I also wonder whether like the entire account is now going to be AI generated. Like, you know, did they use AI to come up with the caption for this tweet? I don't know, but yeah, over time we'll have to see, because I believe the girl who used to do some of the graphics for Vegas was literally quote tweeting this saying, well, AI actually did take my job because this is now what Vegas are doing. It's honestly shambolic, because to be fair, Vegas, they used to come up with some pretty cool graphics last year, but they actually had to pay for those. This year they're probably going to be doing their own stuff, and I do think this is pretty good from Gersh, to be fair. Figured we'd help them with the next AI graphic too. Vegas Legion 12th place, right? Obviously you chucked this in an AI generator and it came out with this, so I thought that was pretty good. Now Standy replies and says, okay, bet, like, we'll see you at the first event type thing. And sure, maybe Vegas will actually be quite good. I'm not so convinced. We've got Surge as well coming out with this type Las Vegas Legion AI generator. This is what we got. Pretty funny, but yeah, maybe FaZe should be the ones to talk more than Surge, because, you know, there's a question how good Surge are actually going to be this season. Sure, right now it's a more of an AR dominated meta, but yeah, Surge and Vegas could well be a couple of teams fighting out for World Championship qualification this season. Just this from Brian's stats as well. I mean, honestly, Vanguard was so atrocious, was it? The Paris or the Vegas Legion series record per year. Atrocious every year. Vanguard especially, 4 in 26. Last year, though, 18 in 21. Clay joins, actually a decent team. Probably didn't achieve as much on LAN as they arguably probably will think that they should have done. But yeah, this year, where will they be? Will it be back to reality with Vegas, or, you know, with the post-Clayster days? Because I know that many people are kind of, you know, they'll be supporting Carolina more than Vegas, although I'm sure people want Attach to do well, and, you know, it's a likable team. And it is a team, again, on paper that does make some degree of sense, you know, like Attach, I guess, will be effectively on the main AR here, should have some slang to bring to the table. Purge, who won the World Championship and the Challenger side, most recently he's going to be coming in as that flex. And I know a lot of people would say, and I kind of get it, like, well, why not Temp, you know? Why not just bring Temp in instead of Purge, you know, Attach, Temp, and then Standy Nero. Standy Nero on paper, given the SMG duos that are formed at the top end of the league, probably the best they could have feasibly done. I like what Carolina have done as well with Grin Real, but Standy Nero also is right up there as one of the best in terms of slaying and aggression. You know, it's good, you can't deny it, but you know, I'm just not so convinced that in the long term this is going to work out drastically well. And a much better graphic here put together by the Breakaway boys that the Vegas Legion managed themselves. Couple of tournaments, of course, as there always are going down. This was pretty much the first one that the OpTic guys won. Okay, Pred isn't there yet, but they played played this 4v4 with Drazah, actually, who was, well, potentially going to be on the team instead of Kenny. That didn't happen, so it was Dashy, Kenny, Shotzzy, and Drazah got this tournament over the line. And then slightly later that night, hashtag getting active, they won a 3v3 3K CMG Elite with Shotzzy, Kenny, and Dashy themselves. So that was kind of like their first as a team tournament victory so far. And of course, last night also that $150,000 tournament that he'd just put together was going on. And Dashy was absolutely frying in this. Like, it's kind of crazy how some of the teams are relatively well balanced, I would say. But Dashy's team is basically just a one-man army. And, man, Dashy is really good at this game. There's been good clips from Kenny so far. Pretty good at every game he plays. I mean, yeah, on paper, this should be a good year for OpTic, because some of the clips I'm seeing from Dashy so far, such as this one, are just absolutely mesmerizing. And I think he dropped 39 kills in 2 maps of Search and Destroy. This was one that he dropped 21 in for a 6-5 win. I mean, look at this. 21 kills. This is against Bows, Methods, Courage JD, and their team. He drops 21 in 11 rounds, sure, but, I mean, yeah, 20 kills is, at least in CDL terms, or CWL terms before that, 20 is pretty much the record, tied actually with Dashy back in World War II and Crimsix, more famously really, back in Call of Duty Ghost. I believe that Hook might have had 21 in Black Ops 4 at some point, but that was 5v5, a little bit different. So, okay, this isn't going down to the record books as a 21 bomb because it's in an online tournament with not exactly pro teams, but it gets the point across that Dashy was absolutely cooking in this one and was pretty much hard carrying his team to victory. There was also this, where Karma was playing with these guys, Dr. Lupo, like I'm Marksman Symphony. And to be fair, this is against Shifty's team. Now, Shifty drops 15 here for the L, so fair play. But Karma drops 16 for the dub, and also, you know, hard carries his team, plants defuses, all that stuff. So, yeah, Karma gets the better of Shifty here in these early tournaments. We know that Karma tends to be, despite what he said on Twitter the other day, very good at the start of titles. But, yeah, Shifty taking an L. And look, Shifty's had some good results so far in these kickoffs. Like, he's beaten some good teams. But he's also had his fair share of difficulties, and that's where we're about to see in a second some of the drama comes to play. Of course, Scump's team was also playing their team in the 150k tournament with Scump and Nadeshot and co. They dropped 29 combined to win this round 11 here, so nice play here from Scump. I guess I'll just share like how this clip closes out when Scump gets the first kill as he tries to run away, picks up the second, defuse comes through, and yeah, actually you can see the scoreboard for just a second there. Here you go. Yeah, Scump had 14, Nadeshot had 15 for the dub there, so good to see that fantastic old duo still cooking all these years later. But let's talk about this Warzone drama then, because this never is too far away, it feels like, between the CDL players and the Warzone players. And I get it, and sometimes I think that as a competitive community, we go, you know, like, I don't know, people seem to let the Warzone players get in their head a little bit too much, I think, because it's kind of clear what the discrepancy is, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of money in Warzone, and I think it was, what was the guy's name that won the solo YOLO this year that Scump, of course, won a couple of years back? That Skullface guy, I believe, he won, just in that tournament, more money than the vast majority of CDL players won this year, just at that one World Series of Warzone tournament in London a little while ago. So there's clearly a reason why players that are good at Warzone play that instead of playing in the CDL, because if they were to come to the CDL, even if they were to get an offer, and we'll discuss this with Shifty here in a second, they'd be getting offered what Vegas are going to pay, which is, you know, as minimum a salary as they can possibly get away with. So it doesn't probably make much sense for these Warzone guys to do it, but then you start to get the discussion where the Warzone players seem to think they're as good, or, you know, they get the ego as if they're winning the real world championship, and this is where the CDL players don't necessarily agree all that much. So this is a clip that comes out yesterday, which is just hilarious. So Dashy, I think it was Dashy, Shotzzy and Kenny, late night, where after they'd won some of the tournaments they'd played, they started tuning into Shifty's games. Now, I believe it was especially a game chat episode a couple of months back now with Pred, the entire OpTic team, and they dialed in on this specifically because after Shifty had won the Warzone World Championship, or the World Series of Warzone, back in, well, a couple of months back now, he was interviewed afterwards and he said that he would consider moving to the CDL if the money was right. And this was, this caused quite a lot of controversy at the time. They had, you know, a lot of pro players, but CLOWNS got in for this, right? And then we had Clay said, well, you know what, you know, he could be pretty good. Maybe with a bit of molding, there's a chance there for this guy to be, you know, to become something. A lot of pros were like, damn, this Shifty guy really thinks he's all that. He's saying, not just do I deserve a spot in the league, but actually I'll only do it if they pay me the bag that I deserve, type thing. And a lot of pros were like, yeah, I get a second, mate. I don't think you've done enough to justify these kind of claims. So as a result, a lot of the pros have been looking for chances to to get one back on Shifty, as it were. And when Dashy tunes into his stream here and he gets snaked here, well, he kind of gets snaked and then he kind of gets smoked, to be fair, for the loss in this particular rounds. Shifty then makes some excuses, I guess, rage quits the game, and the OpTic guys found this all pretty hilarious.
We're getting 1v3.
We're not getting a trade.
You're getting.
No.
If he's, please tell me he's snaking. Please tell me he's snaking. Oh my god, he's in the game. I'm bumping this. I'm bumping this.
Like, come on, dude.
Was he just snaking?
Yeah.
What are you snaking?
Bro, you
If
guys.
it's bad, bro, get a
snaking?
fuck. I don't care. Get an admin if it's bad. If it's bad.
He
get
shot.
an admin, bro.
Nah, bro. You guys slammed, bro.
My goodness.
We
The
doing it back
reference
or not?
response. No, yo ass guys.
Wait, nah. After further review, y'all are ass.
If he's doing it every round.
Wait, he left the game.
He's doing. I know Tekka, bro.
Bro, wait. Did he just hit us with the like, it's y'all's call, and then he was the first one to leave? This dude is contradicting him. He said, "Yo,
because I'm not gonna lie, bro. If I hear,
yeah, but I'm but you know what? I'm leaving,
and it's not allowed. We might as well do something about it then. Because if we're not doing it back, then okay. Because I'm not doing it. I'm not sinking it. I sank one time, bro, and I start shooting.
So this is what happened a couple of months back, right in September, when these guys won the World Tours Warzone, and it was Skullface that won the solo YOLO thing. But it was, yeah, Shifty, Sage, and Biffle won effectively the World Tours Warzone Global Finals in London. And he stated afterwards in an interview that I think he said if the money is right, but people like to translate that now to if the bag is right. You know, if they give me the appropriate bag, I'm there type thing. And therefore, a lot of the pros have decided to, make the most of any opportunities to get one back on him, as it were. Now, Shifty actually responded to this yesterday and said, I won my champs, kind of like shrugging emoji or whatever. Kenny comes back and says, like, what are you talking about, brother? And they have a bit of a, back and forth in the replies. But this is pretty funny, to be fair, from Shifty, I'm not going to lie, because, all of the players in the clip, I suppose, on their side, Dashy, Kenny, and Shotzzy, neither of them, none of them won the World Championship this season. Shifty technically did, but is it really the same thing, right? This is, I'm sure, what the likes of Dashy and others would say is, okay, sure, champs for the World Series Warzone, which is, like, they were the best team there. The format wasn't terrible, but at the end of the day, you're dropping into a Warzone lobby. There's always going to be an element of randomness, of RNG, and it's not necessarily held in quite the same regard necessarily as the, the Call of Duty World Championship is, but I guess it depends who you are and what your perspective is. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I necessarily buy Shifty's argument here that, well, he won his champs type thing, and that makes it, like, equivalent to the Call of Duty World Championship, but I guess maybe we're biased here coming for the competitive COD scene, and maybe people that really enjoy competitive Warzone would have a different point of view on this. So, pretty entertaining either way, but I'm sure it's not going to be the end of this, because as always happens, as these tournaments continue to progress, Shifty might play Dashy in a tournament in a few days' time, and then we'll really get to see what's happening. So very much interested to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.
Never mind. It's just the credit, just the cockpit, but like,
dude, wait, no, I swear, this cockpit's buffed right now.
What's the cockpit?